You're so helpless too that you don't know what to do. Each night I pray there will never come a day when you up and take your love away. Say you feel the same way too, and I wonder.
And welcome to another Sunday edition of the Wananiki Cheese Cafe. So it's kind of hard to believe right now. It's the first weekend of September, and yet here I am in a turtleneck, my fall coat, and the black fedora. For me, the black fedora is always the first sign that it's going to be getting colder and summer is just going to be coming to a close soon. Even though this is going to be the colder day and it should be like the low to mid 20s for the rest of the week. So it's going to be kind of a strange time where it's going to be warm, some cooler days, but it's almost like fall and summer having the last war or tug of war amongst each other. But regardless, coming to you from St. Denis Street in the Latin Quarter again, because I had an itch for getting out of the house earlier today, but instead of doing a brew or doing some kind of a meal out, I thought I've never documented brunch on the channel before, and I kind of have a spot I want to hit up because it ties into some story from earlier in the summer, so we're going to be visiting that today. St. Buck. I feel like I haven't hit the spot up since probably summer 2022. I know I came over here for a pint when I was recording episode 100 of the Wananiki Cheese Cafe. Then I did another round, but I haven't really given it a fair shot again. I feel like that ever since I've been wandering through all the other boroughs of Montreal that I haven't gone to some of my usual spots. To a certain degree, because Ile de Galles is still one place I visit from time to time because Rosemont is my favorite, and that's not going to change at all. Still, it's a bit like when I went to Memento around the Point St. Charles, because I went there back in 2023 and it took me well over a year before I did another visit yet again. So once again, I'm correcting a lot of that stuff. Oh yeah, the Point St. Charles episode. If you want to see me doing that visit back to Memento, I'm putting a card in the top right corner for you to watch it. I'm kind of lucky right now because I'm still at the point where there are a lot of streets that are pedestrian only here, like this part of St. Denis in the Latin Quarter, but other parts like Mont-Royal Avenue East, there's a stretch from St. Denis up to Saint Laurent that's still pedestrian. Otherwise, cars are going to be driving around again. That's like one surefire sign that summer's going to be coming to a close. It's a bit melancholic when you think about it. I know some people like autumn, but for me, I'm a terrace guy. I like to walk around in minimal clothing and just enjoy the warmth and the sights and sounds while everybody's out and about. It is what it is though, and we're just gonna have to go with it. Oh yeah, before I continue the walk, here's my other suggestion for you. Hit that subscribe button below and put your notification bell on. That way, if there's any new videos coming up, you're gonna get a pop-up on your phone that it's ready to view. Plus, give me a like right now. The more likes I get, the more these videos are gonna be promoted all across YouTube. So that helps me out a lot more than you realize. Cafe Gitana. I'm always on the hunt for new coffee shops and such, but looking at this sign here, it says it's a cigar lounge, and if I'm not mistaken, it seems like it's a shisha place. I don't think I've ever had shisha in my entire life. When I was out on a date, I almost came close to having it once, and didn't really work out because it was a case of I didn't want to smoke, I was hungry and needed something to eat. And that was like at least 2, maybe 3 years ago. Funny how times have changed. If I was going to go to shisha, I don't know. I feel like that would be like a one and done thing just to say I've experienced it and that's the extent of it. Otherwise, it ain't for me. Café Bulla. You know, I pass by the spot a lot of times, but I feel like I do have to give it a shot one of these days because one thing I kind of like about this is the vine work that's along the terrace here. It's kind of a nice design, and probably gonna have to wait until it's a warmer day, seeing how I doubt terraces are gonna be open today since it's only gonna be about 12 degrees Celsius maximum. I'm not gonna calculate that in Fahrenheit because I always seem to forget what the mathematical equation is. One day I'll go back because they do have beef tartare, they have brunch, things that really interest me these days. Regardless, I'm getting close to my destinations and I am kind of getting hungry now, so best to keep on going.
Last episode, there's nowhere to go. Oh no, you made your choice. Now it's up to me to bow out gracefully. Though you hold the key, but baby, whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be
Nice and perfect for a day like today. So as I mentioned earlier in the episode, brunch and going out for breakfast in general is not something I do very often on my channel, or even that much in my life when I'm not vlogging. But what actually got me into that was, this is like in the beginning of July, where we had this weird power outage up down the South Shore, around where I live, which is south of the island of Montreal. There was like some freak accident that happened that took down one of the pylons, and as a result of that, we lost power for like a good 16 hours, and it meant that overnight and into the morning I wasn't able to do anything, like no computer, no breakfast, and I couldn't even make a coffee for myself too, which was, you know, something for a guy like me who enjoys having a coffee in the morning, that's like a nightmare. So what I ended up doing was coming up into town, because let's face it, if I have any excuse to come into the city, I'm gonna do it. Took a walk around, came up around here, and I saw this place, Bistro L'Evidence, or The Evidence. It's someplace I pass by a lot of my walks, and I thought, why not give it a shot while I'm over here? Because it's a good excuse to try something brand new and also do something I don't really do, breakfast. And ever since, I've tried to do a brunch here and there. I did once in July over here. I've tried Fabergé in August, and I should probably go back there again. And I'm doing this again because I want to kind of tie it into the story of losing power and making me, you know, want to, you know, get brunch and have a coffee out. And in case you're wondering what kind of coffee this is, I'm doing just a regular drip coffee. It's nothing too fancy, because when you come to one of these breakfast spots, you know, you could do Americanos, you could do lattes. I like to get the regular just because that typically when you come here for the regular coffee with your meal, they give you free refills from time to time, so it's like you get unlimited coffees to a certain degree. And I'm just waiting around over here until my meal comes. As for what I'm eating, stay tuned. I'll show you exactly what it's going to be. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm starting to feel really hungry, so that's why I thought I should just chew on a potato while my breakfast is arriving. So if you're wondering what I have over here, it's a pretty typical thing you could get a lot of these breakfast places. Like, traditionally, if you want something simple, you go for 2 eggs with toast, maybe some potatoes or hash browns, and your choice of sausage, bacon, or ham. If you're anything like me in my 20s, I probably would have taken all 3 pieces of meat at once. I'd probably regret it for the rest of the day because it is pretty heavy. This thing is an eggs benedictive dish. And what that is, it just takes some poached eggs, lay it on top of some... Hang on, I'm choking on potato. Excuse me. So they take poached eggs and lay it on top of an English muffin, and then top it with a hollandaise sauce, which is like a very thick, rich cream. And then you can dress up with whatever you want. What I wanted to do is I got Le Manoir on the menu here, and what that is, it's actually with brie cheese, which is not an ingredient I see very often with breakfast stuff, but with bacon also, because I like my bacon from time to time. And I don't know, you're probably thinking, I'm a guy who likes to cook. Why haven't I made this at home? Well, here's the thing. This thing is very heavy. Like, if I was to look at how to make a hollandaise sauce, 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 egg yolks, a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. For that, you're looking at like maybe 35% milk fat, which is, you know, a pretty sizable amount. And you would need 4 large eggs altogether if you're doing this. And it would basically, for poaching the eggs, serve with the English muffin, with the bacon, and whatever else. The recipe I saw is for serving for 4, and I just think that's a long egg all at once. So because I wouldn't make it that much at home, this is like one of those things where I know I'm going to be treating myself when I'm out and about. It's a bit like prior to last year where I used to get beef tartare for myself because I always thought I'm never going to be able to make this. But the truth is, tartare is actually really simple to make at home, and it's actually affordable compared to what you see in restaurants, but also it's not that unhealthy too, because if you serve with vegetables, you don't dress up with too heavy a bread or don't add too much, it's good. Oh yeah, if you want to see how to make beef tartare, then I'm going to put a card in the top right corner and you can watch that. I've been talking too much now. Let's have some eggs. And it's a very nice combination here. The cheese gives it a distinct flavor. I love the sauce. It's all look good. But don't worry, they give a nice seasonal mix of vegetables here. So I guess I could show it off. I got some grapes, sliced apple, pink grapefruit, and a banana. You never know what kind of fruit you're going to get. It all depends on what's available in the year or what's in season. Delicious as always. Something else to point out at these breakfast places too is that if you come here, there's a lot of them that will actually serve some alcoholic beverages of that style. So I do notice that they do have a wine selection here, and even a couple of beers that are on tap. I guess you want to have your beer in the middle of the afternoon. I kind of like it because I looked at the taps. It's all Boreal brews, which includes my IPAs and Valdez. So that means in theory, if I want to have a pint, it is available here. But I don't think so. If I do a pint, I'll save that for later on. The other thing too is if you like breakfast stuff, you can get alcoholic coffees like a Brazilian coffee, Irish coffee. But the big one, when I guess you think brunch on a Sunday, you think mimosas. And if you don't know what that is, essentially just take some sparkling wine, add it to some orange juice, and it makes a nice like fruity drink that's kind of perfect to go with your meal. And it's not too heavy because you're talking like half and half, so the percentage of alcohol overall is not that high. I've had mimosas a handful of times, but I haven't really thought of touching it ever since, because it's been a few years. So who knows, maybe I could go back to it one of these days. But then again, I'm thinking like, I'm documenting brunch right now, so if I was to start showing off brunch places in addition to bars, I would open up a whole new avenue for this channel. But we'll wait and see. Anything could happen. For now, I'm just going to be enjoying this rest of this meal, have this coffee, and then see where the wander takes me afterwards. Once again, a very nice brunch, and I was just standing out here looking at the architecture, because that's one thing I kind of like over here is the old stonework, and especially the roof work that's done, because it's a very, well, everything I've read about this is that it's a very Victorian style architecture from, can't even tell you what century it's from, but they did a good job preserving it. And when you have these terraces here, it almost feels like it's remnants of an old European city, which I guess technically it is. It's good stuff. Highly recommended to come here. I was kind of tempted about the pint here because I was looking at the menu and it seems like that draft beer is $8, which, you know, in 2024 is insane to find. But I could save it for another time, like I said. I did have to get out a little bit because this time of year, it's like the transition between the cold and the hot, and depending on the temperature outside, some people are probably going to be turning their heat up because some people have different tolerances. Like for me, I can tolerate a bit of cold, so when people are freezing, I'm actually feeling pretty normal. So sometimes it's like a bit confusing where you feel hot, but it's just the temperature inside. Oh, and actually there's a pretty cool spot here too. I kind of want to check one of these days. Auprès de ma blonde, which apparently is a French term for with my girlfriend. I'm kind of trying to figure out just how does girlfriend and blonde match. Like my girlfriend is my blonde, like blonde, brunette, redhead, those also apply too. But I do like it because it also looks like a Parisian kind of a patio. Maybe one day I'll check it out. Until then, let's continue the walk.
Gazing from my window to the streets below, on a freshly fallen silent shroud of snow. I am a rock, I am an rock.
Interesting. I actually hit up the spot earlier in the year, L'Express. I think I had some good octopus for a side dish because I did have something earlier, but if you look, it's so subtle that it's easy to miss. And some people actually told me that they got one of the best wine menus in the city. Actually, 2 people told me that. I'm not sure, probably people who go to restaurants very often. But if you want to see my visit to that, I'll put a card in the top right corner for you to revisit that one. Still walking along Saint Denis, but I'm still trying to think where I could go from here. Part of me is thinking that I can probably fit enough room for a different coffee, like not drip, but we'll see where I go. I'm not going to have anything to eat because that was a pretty filling meal. But I am also thankful that I am a pedestrian, so that means I'm going to do what I can to walk off this dish. No, I've shown off this place before a few times, but it always bears repeating. La Bainerie. It's like one of those artisanal donut shops I've been seeing around, like popping up a lot these days. This one's kind of funny because it's a play on the word bain, which is French for bathtub, and bain, which is for donut. So it's like donut taking a bath, really? But it's pretty cool. I think the one time that I came here for a donut was for a matcha and a black sesame donut, which I thought was pretty nice. And if I was to think of what makes this one unique, because Bernie's, Bain et Glace, and Homer's all have their own unique donuts, but this one also functions as an ice cream store. So that means that if you want to go get some ice cream with your donut, this one is available. Duluth Avenue looks like it's still pedestrian only, which is a good thing because it's only going to be a matter of time before they close that one down and just open up the cars again. Maybe I could just go back down here, see if there's a coffee shop, or worst case, make my way back to Saint Laurent and keep up my usual Sunday tradition. Wow, that's a hell of a lineup right now. I have no clue what's going on. The only thing I see is like some Brazilian flags that are up. So whatever they're celebrating, I don't know. I can tell you that they're not waiting for brunch, that's for sure. But that's something else I forgot to mention, is that whenever you go to some brunch places, there's some lineups to get into certain ones depending on the restaurant. Like perfect example for me would be L'Avenue on Mont-Royal East. That one, for some reason, there's always somebody going to be waiting in line for going for breakfast. Fabergé, when I went there the one time, there was a crowd, but because it was a very sunny day and people didn't want to be out directly in the sun, they wanted shade, that meant I was able to get a spot right away. Yeah, I didn't see anything on the signs either. The only thing I did see is that October 6th is when the pedestrian side is closing, so this one's going to be finishing like relatively later compared to some busier streets. And ooh, Café ISO. That one I remember because I covered that when I visited Le Relais Boréal last November, almost a year ago. I want to just get a, there you go. I'm going to get the sign right now. If you want to see that episode, I'm going to put a card in the top right corner for you to watch. And I have to think that I'm on Laval Avenue, so I'm also very close to my dad's third apartment when he was around before my grandparents moved to St. Leonard. Chat L'Heureux, or the Happy Cat. I gotta admit, this spot always kind of intrigued me because it seems like it's like a pet store slash cat cafe where you hang around. There's a couple of cats that sit over here. I feel like that there's only 2 spots I could think of offhand. This one that's on Duluth. And there's also some other cat cafe that's around Verdun that I might have to visit one of these days. I'm on the windows trying to see if I can get some cats close by, but no luck. I wonder if I could get a coffee to go over here. On second thought, it looks like it's a sit-down place where you can order your stuff, but you can't get it to go. So I feel like I'm going to give that a visit one day. It'll be for another time when I know that I'm not to have anything else to eat beforehand. I'm going to keep going elsewhere and see if I can find another coffee shop. But I guess I can be positive that I'm going to keep digesting that meal. I feel like that every single cafe I've gone to has their own little touch. Like Café des Habitudes looks like they're using a lot of secondhand stuff because it's going with their whole zero waste concept. This one, Café Bulla, looks very minimalist. The terrace over here looks like it's like a garden patio, which is kind of a nice touch. Of course, it's only going to be a matter of time before it starts to close. But if you want to know what I'm drinking, one Americano. Even with the drip coffee, felt like I wanted to have a final ration before I start making my way home. But of course, I'm going to be taking a little walk further and just exploring, maybe think of another musical montage, and we'll wait and see.
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion?
As I mentioned earlier, Mont-Royal Avenue facing east of Saint Denis is now for motorists, but if you go over here, it's the same thing I pointed out. This part is now for pedestrians still until, well, I forget which date exactly, but you know what? It's people could probably enjoy it while they still can. That's not to say that the terraces will be going as a result of it, because I've seen that terraces can last pretty long around here. They get them installed like maybe around, I believe, sometimes March, but April at the earliest, and then they can be still around here on the plateau until end of October, maybe even in November, depending on if the weather permits it. So if you want to have a pint and you don't mind wearing your coat, go for it. Me? I'm going to be continuing my wander a little bit and then wrapping things up and then thinking about my supper situation. So until then, thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wananiki Cheese Cafe. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my antics, my wanders, the explorations around Montreal, and the musical montages that come with it. And if you have any ideas for a future episode, leave in the comments section. I'll see what I can do. Till then, take care and we'll see you next time.